This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Monday, June 5th, 2006, and this is episode number 109 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg from MGMstudios.org. Our cast today includes Mr. Bluefont, Len Testa, co-author of The Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
How's it going, Matt?
Outstanding.
And we're going to do it in white and then pale white this year.
Oh, interesting.
So the words will be in pale white on a white background.
Yeah, that'll.
We're going to sell we're going to sell glasses along with it too for extra money.
It's like the Da Vinci Code. You have to hold it up to a black light, and it'll spell out the real answers.
Exactly.
We also have the man actively advocating for a 4-star AAA rating for Scopa Towers, Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com. Welcome, Mike.
Now you'll deal with me and all the powers of my imagination.
And we also have Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Welcome, Mike.
Hi, man. How you doing?
Outstanding. And our special guest today is Dewey Chaffee, better known as the Streetmosphere character at the Disney MGM Studios, Francis Flute. Welcome, Dewey.
Thanks. I love that just before we went on the air, you asked me how to pronounce my name, and then now we're on the air, and you did it wrong, Matt.
Oh, I did?
Yeah,
that's
just
the
before
least
we
of
went
your
on
worries
the
on this show.
Yeah, we were all so impressed that he got it right, and now we get online, and he was Chaffee, but that's okay. I will take it.
I'm sorry. What is the correct
You've
pronunciation?
never heard the show before, have you?
No. Well, I've heard one or two, but no, I never. It's Chafee, but
Chaffee.
you can call me Kahafi, Kahafey, whatever.
I'm putting a Y in the show notes right now, so I will not
Yeah,
do that
spell
again.
it out phonetically.
Yep. Well, of course, Dewey is best known for his alter ego, Francis Flute, who's one of the Streetmosphere characters. He has a website. You might not recognize the name. A lot of people will know probably the character Dewey, but not necessarily his name.
Yeah.
And, of course, his website is francisflute.com. There'll be a link in the show notes to it.
And that's Francis with an I, because with an E, that makes him a girl. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. So why don't you tell us, how long have you been working at the studios as Francis, Dewey?
As Francis, let's see, 10 years this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
great.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it flew by. It wasn't a complete solid 10 years because at one point I went to work and open up Tokyo Disney Sea in Tokyo, and then I actually left the company for a little bit to work at Universal Studios Japan, and then I came back. So Francis was traveling around for a little bit.
So you did Francis Flute in Tokyo?
No, actually I didn't, but that would have been hilarious because just that accent. I could see the Japanese, don't understand what you say.
Oh, God.
You're very funny, but what you say?
It's the Super
And they
Happy
can't
Hour
say-
with Francis Flute.
And his name would actually be Francis Fruit, if you think about it.
Oh, God.
Very nice.
Yes.
How'd you come up with the character?
Well, actually, in 1996, in the summer, I was doing a Midsummer Night's Dream, which is a Shakespeare play, and I was playing a character named Francis Flute. And I think I've had two people figure that out. That there is a cast of 4 characters in the Midsummer Night's Dream called the Mechanicals, and they're the comic relief of the show. And the bellows mender, his name is Francis Flute. However, he spells his name Flute. My Francis spells it Floot. But that's where that came from. I came in and I was actually, the voice was the same, the mannerisms were the same, but I was in overalls with a dirty rag, and I knew that there was a gas station as soon as you walked into the park on the right-hand side. So I called myself Francis Flute, and I was trying to sell them that they needed someone to work the gas station as a gas station attendant. And they liked the character, and they hired me on to be on the public works department. So Francis Flute started out as a plumber.
Interesting. And then how did you go from Mario Brother wannabe to your current character?
Well, it was a growth over time. I mean, I look at pictures and it's amazing how much he's changed, and I've always kept the story the same. So when I started on the truck, I worked with these 2 amazing comedians, Nate Starkey and Johnny Sachs, and we were together for Johnny Sachs. Does that make you laugh?
From The Sopranos, yeah.
Oh, that's right. And Johnny loved that show. 3 years we were together, and it was amazing. They taught me everything. I went in very green. I thought I knew street theater, but I really didn't. And these two guys were amazing. They were very patient. They were it just taught me everything they know. And then the time came where, I call it our Cheers years because it was just such an amazing run. And Nate moved off to New York City, and he's doing improv up there. And then, unfortunately, we lost Johnny 2 years ago to cancer, so that just left me. And so Francis left the public works department to become famous. So now he beats the streets with his suitcase and his telephone, and he's trying to get famous. And it just is not going to happen, I don't think.
One of the great aspects about your character is that he's very much a mama's boy.
Yes, he is.
And so I wanted to know, we were talking about this before, I kind of came up with some questions before the show, but just before we went live, you mentioned something about where your mother lives, and I thought, how much of your real-life mother is based on the character?
None, actually.
She's not listening. It's okay.
Yeah, no, she won't.
No one
she
is
doesn't
listening,
even.
actually.
She doesn't even know what a computer is.
Yeah.
But Francis's mother, I'm sure she's listening right now because she's always around. But no, it's not based on my mother at all. She's actually the antithesis because my mother unfortunately had absolutely no involvement or interest in anything that I was doing. Hence, I became an actor because I'm like, look at me, I need attention. Like all actors do. Very rarely will you walk up to an actor and say, did you have a good, stable childhood? And they'll say yes. That usually doesn't happen. So this is actually everything that my mother wasn't. She's so overly involved that Francis needs to call her every 10 minutes. She wants to know everything that's going on, but he never gets frustrated with her, which is my favorite character choice. Francis is always ready to call her and talk to her, and he's never annoyed with that. So I think, it's related to, my mother, but it's not her in any way, shape, or form.
One of my favorite parts of your character, besides talking to your mother all the time, is the improvisation you do. Because your character, unlike, say, a lot of the other shows that are out there, those are sort of scripted to an extent, in
Right.
that they'll run through a series of scripts. But
Right.
your character, really, you just go out there, and your whole act is based on interacting with park guests. And it's really
Right.
funny how you just come up with really just, I don't know how much of it how many lines you've used before, but my favorite line, I'll share it with you, and this was the first time I had met Dewey as Francis. He sat down next to me at the bench, and he asked me what I do for a living. And this is, of course, while he was on the phone with his mother. And he says to me, what do you do for a living? I say, I'm a webmaster. And he goes, hey, Mama, I'm sitting next to Spider-Man. So I thought that was a great line. So why don't you tell us a little
Thanks.
bit about like, how do you, is that like your thing? Is that your shtick, improvisation?
Yeah, it is. That's my best times there are when I just walk out and the premise of this character is waiting for the bus, or he's getting ready to go to an audition. But I'm just constantly scanning the crowd and looking at people and just assessing them if they want to play, if they don't want to play, and just going with it, and as much as possible just living in the moment. And that is my favorite thing to do. That in the previous cast, I enjoyed doing particular bits that were scripted, but that's never been my favorite aspect of the show. My favorite is just exactly what you see, going out there and not knowing what's going to happen, because people, kids especially, are the most amazingly funny people if you just let them. So I feel like my job is to just go out there and I'll just feed a line or two, ask a question or two, and then it comes back, and then we just start bouncing back and forth, and that is heaven for me. It's heaven. I forget who I am, and I totally become Francis, and it's a blast. It's the best job in the world.
Yeah, because you're basically paid to harass park guests.
That's right. That's exactly it. And some of them do feel that way. They don't want to take time to get to know who Francis is or anything. But most people, the interesting thing is most people see the character from afar and they get it. And that's what our director is always going for. He said, number one, whatever character you create, the guest has to be able to look at you from a distance and know exactly, stereotypically, what you are. And they look at me and they immediately think, nerd who's traveling. And everyone understands that. Or you see a director from a distance and you say, that's a director. So that's why Francis is so successful, I think, because they know they know he's a nerd, and they know once they listen to him for a while, they know he's vulnerable. And the Plaid, it's interesting how Plaid says nerd, isn't it?
Yeah, Len,
People know.
You get that a lot, don't you?
Yeah. So,
What percentage of park guests do you think interact with you, and what percentage kind of run away?
I would say 90% of them will interact with me. If they stop and they watch for a second or two, almost everybody will interact because they see that he's not going to embarrass them. That's the guests. When guests see street theater, their main concern is they don't want to be picked and they don't want to be made a fool of. And that's something that I'm very, very aware of, and I take pride in being skilled at, is that I can involve people with this character and not make them feel stupid. I want them to feeling warm and fuzzy, and I think that happens.
Len, how much feedback do you get from Unofficial Guide readers about Streetmosphere characters?
We don't usually get much, but the stuff we get is uniformly positive. So,
You know, a lot of people, when they ask me what I do and I tell them, they say, "Oh, you know, just what you were saying, Matt. Oh, you're the guys in funny costumes that just harass people." And I'm kind of like, "Oh no, I wish you'd stop."
Yes.
But most people don't. You know, they're there to ride rides. They're and plus they spend however much it is to get in there now. How much is it now, Len? $65 or something?
$67.10.
67. Wow. So when they get in there, you know, they're under pressure. They feel like they got to cram as much as they can. So honestly, the people who come and watch us are already fans, or they're not on a schedule. So a lot of locals will watch us. So we get missed a lot. We get missed, and it's our responsibility to make guests know that we're there. And sometimes that doesn't happen. That's why Francis is so loud, and that's why he climbs up on poles, and that's why he gets on top of things. Because I just want as many people to see me as possible. But yeah, a lot of people don't even know that we're there.
And part of well, I think we've got some core questions here, but I think our listeners would like to hear Francis here, and have Mike Scopa will be your toy over here to play with.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, jeez.
Francis has actually he's been sitting here for a while, jumping up and down. He's really eager to get on this headset. So, yeah, because all he has is like that little phone that he talks to Mama, so he'll love this. You want me to hand it over to him now?
Yeah, why don't you?
Okay, hold on. Let me switch it over. Hold on.
I'm so scared right now. Let me just say that.
Oh, boy, how did this help me swear? Hold on. What do I just put it on my head? Just on top of it. Just put it over your ear, like on both my ears. And just like, all right. Now say hello. Hello?
Hi, Francis. This is Mike Scopa from WDW Today. I'm here with Len Testa, Matt Hochberg, and Mike Newell. Why don't you say hi to everybody?
Well, shut the front door. That's a lot of people in this little old headset. What? Hey, y'all, is this going out to space or something?
Well, we're talking over the internet, and what we're doing is we're going to record the show, and we're going to play it back for all your fans to listen to. I just thought you'd be really excited to hear about that.
I'm excited. Now, do they have the intranet in Bucksnort? Do you know?
The last time I checked, I thought that they were just getting it. I mean, they are somewhat behind the times, but I'm pretty sure that by Thursday they will have it there.
That'd be swell. I'll tell Mama to go down there and she can listen to this. This is swell.
How is your mama?
Oh, she's doing real well. She's doing real well. I talked to her on the phone about 10 minutes ago, and she's having a good day. She's wearing a good wig today.
Oh, how many wigs does she have?
74.
74.
Yeah.
It's pretty close to your wife's Scopa, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Okay, moving right along. Francis, there's word out on the street that there's a little romance going on where you are right now between you and a certain young lady.
Yeah, now if you could see me, I'd be blushing. Wait a minute, can you see me?
No, but I can feel you blushing. It's warm.
Oh, all right. Yeah, because I don't know. With this modern technology, I wouldn't be surprised if you could see me, too. Yeah, I am. I'm kind of in love with a girl. Her name's Paige Turner. She just got to town a couple of days ago, and boy, she sure is swell.
Wow. So are
Yeah.
we looking for maybe a little ceremony sometime in the future?
A little well, wow, now you're getting me real embarrassed. Now that's, okay, you know, I guess if I'm going to be famous, I have to talk about personal stuff. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to ask her out. We're going to go to the Brown Derby, maybe have a salad or something. She looks like a salad-eating kind of girl, you know?
Yes, I've seen her. You're a very, very lucky man. You know, as a matter
thanks.
of fact, isn't she part of the Glee Club? I was very fortunate to see you conduct the Glee Club last year. And can you talk a little bit about your Glee Club?
Yeah, that's a lot of fun, doing the Glee Club. And Paige, she is a swell singer. She usually stands in the front row on the right-hand side, and I get a little distracted trying to lead, because I look into her eyes, and I forget where we are. But, yeah, the Glee Club's a lot of fun. We don't get to do that much anymore, though, unfortunately. I wish we could, but we don't get to.
Yeah. Is there anything, I know that we don't have that much time, so I think what would be best would be for you to say a few words to your fans who are planning on coming down to visit you this summer.
Well, the most exciting thing, if they're coming down for the summer, is it'll be easier to find me now because I got a job. I didn't tell you that, fellas, did I?
No, you
No, we got a job.
Yeah, I sure did. Now, I've been hitting the streets trying to get famous and everything, get in the movie industry. Well, I got offered a job on the In the Can film crew. The director is Alberto Dante. He's a big-time Italian film director. You can tell he's Italian because the way he talks, it just sounds funny. He's got an accent, I'll tell you that. Yeah, he doesn't sound like... He sounds real different. Yeah, I'm a cameraman now, so I'm behind the camera, but I figure any minute now he'll give me, let me get some lines, and I'll go out and do some lines in front of the camera. And actually, I'm a little torn because her name is Dolores DeLuca, and she is tempting, fellas. Wait till you see her. She's like a cupcake on a windowsill that you ain't supposed to eat.
I have heard that that Dolores has caught the eye of movie star Stone Granite, though. I'm sure you don't want to move in on his territory.
Well, I will.
What's
I
he
will.
like to work with?
He's just a regular guy, He's a little funny, I don't mean funny, ha-ha funny. I mean, he works at Beauty and the Beast now, and he plays Gaston, and he's got a really good voice, but he's a little light on his feet. I don't know what that means, but he prances around that stage like an old Broadway actor now, and I'm thinking, is that the Stone Granite I used to know? I'll tell you what. So I don't think I'm too threatened. I'm not too threatened at all. Dolores DeLuca's smarter than that.
With y'all.
Francis, before we let you go, I just want to point out to everybody who's planning to go to Hollywood this year to see you that I believe that August 16th is your birthday.
My birthday? How did you know that?
Oh, you're very famous, and we're very big fans of you. So I think what I'd like to ask everyone is, and I'd like to ask you, would it be okay if someone sees you on August 16th to come up and say happy birthday, Francis?
Well, that sure would be fine. I'll probably be really surprised. Don't be afraid don't be surprised if you come up and say happy birthday if I look at you with big eyes like I don't know what's going on, because I kind of think when somebody walks up and I don't recognize them, I'm thinking they're a stalker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and if they know my birthday, it might scare me a little bit. But if you just say you found that out from listening to this here radio show, well, then I'll know where you got it from.
We'll do that, and I want to thank you for coming on. And if you would be so kind as to see if you can drag Dewey back, and we'd like to talk to Dewey. Well, thank you very much, Francis.
It was nice to meet y'all, fellas. Thank you so much.
Bye, Francis.
Thanks, Francis.
Bye,
All right,
Francis.
take care now.
Bye now.
All right, I'm gonna take these off now. Hey, Dewey, come back. Come back now. They want to talk to you. All right, are you done already? That was fast. All right.
So I'm counting
I'm back.
2 lawyers so far. 2 lawyers that we'll be having.
Yeah, did he say something embarrassing?
Oh, no.
No,
Compromising?
we're cool. It's all good.
Yeah, okay,
It'll be
we're
on the
cool.
editing floor.
I hope he didn't insult anybody.
Oh, God forbid, no.
Well, if he did, I'm sure he didn't mean it.
Well, Dewey, of course, your website can be found online at francisflute.com. It's
That's right.
FrancisFloot.com. There'll be a link in the show notes. Dewey.
I'll tell him.
Thank you, and thank Francis for both coming on the show.
Oh, you're very welcome. It was my pleasure. I really appreciate your support. It's always nice.
And that's it for us today. This has been episode number 109 of Walt Disney World Today. If you want to find older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.wdwtoday.com. You can also email us at questions@wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and Dewey Chafee. Did I get it right this time?
You got it right.
All right.
End of the show.
We'll see you next show.
Take care.